My girlfriend texted me, I'm keeping the baby, but I'm putting my ex's name on the birth certificate. I replied with one word, okay. Then I forwarded her text to her ex. His wife's call destroyed everything. I was sitting in the waiting room of my girlfriend's prenatal appointment, literally there to support her. She's about 10 feet away, scrolling her phone, and instead of talking to me, she sends me a text that says, I've been thinking that when the baby comes, I'll put Brandon's name on the birth certificate. It's easier for insurance and stuff. You understand, right? As long as we know the truth, that's what matters. Brandon, her ex, the guy she swore she blocked, I just stared at that text like this couldn't be real. I read it once, then again, then a third time, trying to find some other meaning hidden in the words. There wasn't one. She was actually planning to put another man's name on my kid's birth certificate, and she was informing me like it was a small logistical decision. I slowly lifted my head and looked at her, expecting her to at least glance at me, but she didn't. She just kept scrolling, relaxed, calm, like nothing unusual had just happened. I wondered if I should confront her about this insanity. Instead, I typed one word. Okay. She looked up almost immediately, smiled at me, and sent me a thumbs up emoji, like I just agreed to pick up milk on the way home. A minute later, the nurse called her name. She stood up, grabbed her purse, and walked toward the door without coming over to me or acknowledging what she had just told me. I watched her disappear behind the door, then sat there for another few seconds, staring at the empty space where she had been sitting. Then I stood up and walked out of the building. I walked across the parking lot slowly, still replaying the message in my head. When I got into my car, I shut the door and just sat there, hands resting on the steering wheel, staring straight ahead. My phone was still in my hand, the message still open on the screen. I read it again, just to make sure it hadn't somehow changed. It hadn't. After a minute, I took a breath and started making calls. First to my buddy Daniel, who's an assistant lawyer and basically my go-to for anything law-related. When he picked up, I kept my voice calm but spoke quickly. Hypothetically, I said, if someone lies on a birth certificate, that's fraud, right? He didn't hesitate. Absolutely. I asked him what kind of fraud, and he started explaining legal responsibility, financial liability, and custody implications. He talked about how putting the wrong name on a birth certificate could create serious legal problems for everyone involved. Then he paused and asked, why? I said, no reason, and hung up before he could ask anything else. Then I opened Facebook and searched for Brandon. It took less than 5 minutes to find him. In fact, he'd just posted a picture of him and his wife earlier that day with the caption, can't wait to start a family with my amazing wife. Don't worry, Brandon. You'll be starting a family all right, just not one that you thought of. I screenshotted Megan's text, created a new email account, and typed a short message. Subject line, congrats, you're going to be a dad. The message was simple. Your ex Megan wanted me to let you know she's pregnant and planning to put your name on the birth certificate. Thought you should know since you'll be legally responsible. Congrats. I attached the screenshot, read the email once more, and hit send. Then I sat there for a second, staring at the confirmation that it had been delivered. Then, because I'm a little petty, I ordered a gift basket to his address from Megan and Baby because I knew his wife would see it. Can't wait for you to be involved. I picked one of those generic baby gift baskets with stuffed animals and diapers, added the message, and completed the order. After that, I put my phone down, started the car, and drove home. By the time Megan got home, I was already packing. I started with clothes, folding them slowly and placing them into a suitcase. Then I moved to my books, my laptop, chargers, and the smaller things that were clearly mine. I worked quietly, moving from one item to the next without rushing. She walked in, saw the suitcase sitting on the bed, and frowned slightly. Hey babe, sorry you had to leave. Everything okay? She asked casually. Yeah, just work stuff, I said. She nodded, accepted the answer without questioning it, and sat down on the couch. Then she started talking about baby names like nothing had happened. She scrolled through her phone, reading names out loud, asking what I thought about each one. I nodded, gave neutral answers, and kept packing. While she talked, I mentally labeled everything in the apartment that belonged to me. The TV, mine. The pans, mine. The coffee maker, mine. The desk chair, mine. The small kitchen appliances, mine. Then out of nowhere, her phone started blowing up. One text, then another, then another. Then she got a call from Brandon. Her face changed almost immediately. Oh my God, what baby? What birth certificate? She slowly turned toward me, eyes widening in realization. Then she screamed at the top of her lungs, what the hell is wrong with you? Brandon must have said something on the phone because she followed up with, it's not what it looks like. I replied, it's exactly what it looks like. She hung up and ran into the bedroom, then came back a few seconds later. Did you send that to Brandon? What? The part where you tried to commit fraud? It's not fraud. It's just paperwork. You were literally about to make another man legally responsible for my kid. You're overreacting. No, you're underreacting to being insane. The next morning, her phone rang again. She looked at the screen and froze. It's his wife, she said quietly. She didn't answer. Later, I heard the voicemail when she played it back. If you put my husband's name on that birth certificate, I will end you. I'm a lawyer. Don't test me. Megan laughed afterward. She's so dramatic. She shrugged like it wasn't serious, like it was just another inconvenience. That afternoon, Brandon's wife called me. You're Megan's boyfriend? She asked. For now, I said. Did you send Brandon the email? I can neither confirm nor deny. There was a short pause. You saved my marriage. Get a paternity test. Already on it. She thanked me again before hanging up. That evening, Megan packed a small bag and left to stay with her mom. She didn't say much before leaving, just grabbed her things and walked out. About 20 minutes later, her mom texted me. Stop stressing my pregnant daughter. I replied, your pregnant daughter tried to commit fraud. Her mom responded, she's hormonal. I replied, she's a criminal. The conversation ended there. I moved out the very next day and took everything that was mine. The TV, the pans, my coffee maker, my desk chair, and the small things I had bought over time. I moved methodically, packing boxes and loading them into my car. I checked each room, making sure I didn't leave anything behind that belonged to me. When I finished, I left her a note on the counter. Lease ends in 30 days. Your mom can help with rent. Good luck with Brandon's insurance. Later, she lost it and called the cops, saying I abandoned her. The cops called me. I explained the situation calmly. They told her it was a civil issue. Then came her family. Her sister told me I needed to man up. Her dad told me she made a mistake. Meanwhile, Brandon blocked her. His wife sent a cease and desist. As everything was still happening, baby Chloe was born. Megan refused to let me in the delivery room. Fine. I waited outside and requested a paternity test before signing anything. She freaked. You don't trust Trust me? Nope. Results came in. 99. 9% mine. She smiled like that fixed everything. See? Now we can move past this. Yeah, no, I'm not coming back. I'm actually filing for joint custody. She screamed, threw things, called me heartless. All sorts of meltdowns. I stayed calm and called my lawyer so we could prepare. Court day came. She cried and blamed hormones. My lawyer showed screenshots and letters. Within minutes, the judge was looking at her with disgust in his eyes. Ma'am, falsifying a birth certificate is a crime. She sobbed harder. I just wanted things to be easier. He can't do this to me. He needs to come back and take care of both of us together. Judge said, nope, gave joint custody, counseling, and a warning. She screamed that I was stealing her baby. Judge had enough and charged her with contempt and a $500 fine. Now I've got Chloe 3 days a week. Megan's broke. Blocked me on Venmo after I sent $20 for the baby's nightlight. Worth it. Pickup days are simple now. I show up, grab the diaper bag, and take Chloe with me. Megan barely speaks to me anymore. That's fine. Everything runs through the custody agreement. Brandon never contacted me again. His wife did once to say thanks again and mentioned that the gift basket caused absolute chaos.